Just that kind of blitz at the beginning of the game. Just take me. Would you see? What were they doing that was kind of hurting you guys?
I think they did a couple things that just put us in or put them in advantageous positions. They jumped out on us quick, and at one point we were just scratching and clawing. So we got to go back to the drawing board, figure out what we need to do to come back next week, and not allow that to happen again.
It's almost all they had for a while. Just what maybe led to them getting the big games.
Right. I think like I said, I think we need to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. But I think they just did a good job of putting us in positions that maybe we didn't want to be in, or maybe weren't advantageous to us, and we weren't making plays, and so we got to figure out to go back to the drawing board.
What is it about the screen game that was so difficult for you guys that gave you guys so many problems?
Right. They did a lot of false keys with it, so maybe where we were looking, we were going one way, the screen was going the other way, so it was a lot of retracing. We got to figure out a way for that not to be the case.
They had that 3rd and 17. They pick up 16, get it on 4. What kind of moment was that in your opinion in this game?
That's a tough one. When you're playing the number one team, you got to get them off the field when you have the chance to get them off the field. They did a good job of coming out here and executing their game plan, and we didn't. So keep reiterating it, but back to the drawing board. Right. Maybe just emphasize to the guys that, today happened. We got to look at it. We got to, be critical on ourselves. We need to be critical on everything that happened in the game. But as far as just going in tomorrow, it needs to be about making those corrections, not feeling bad about yourself, not feeling down on yourself or anything like that. It's about making the corrections so it doesn't happen again.
The last 2 years, you probably haven't finished the year the way you wanted to. What's the key to finishing strong to a season? Because you guys still got obviously a lot to accomplish.
Right. I think it's just to continue to attack every week how we have attacked this week, like going forward in the season. We've done a good job of just going week to week and, the whole 1-0 mentality. So we got to go back in. We got to figure out what we did wrong. We got to fix it. And we got to get back to work.
I guess for 7 games, I think your open field tackling's been pretty on point. All 11 of you guys. Just is that part of going back to the drawing board, or is that part of this is a game we just got to flush from a tackling standpoint because that wasn't us.
Yeah. I think there's still going back to the drawing board. You got to be critical. You got to understand why you missed the tackle. You need to, analyze that. But at the same point, you can't just spiral or allow that to affect you in a way. So I mean, yes, going back to the drawing board, and yes, continue to work on it throughout the week, but also yes, flushing it at the same time.
We've seen you guys defense play stretches of really good defense we saw last week, and then today, like, find consistency is one of the key voices on this defense.
Right. I mean, that's something we just got to continue to preach. Like you said, we've been consistent at times throughout the season, but we need to figure out a way to just keep putting it in throughout the week by week. And that's something we're going to look at, and we're going to figure out a way to do.
Secondary depth was obviously tested today. What'd you think? I mean, Tyson comes in, makes a play, but what'd you think of those guys coming in and what they did?
Right. I think a lot of young guys had to come in. We had some injuries, and I think they did a great job of just stepping up, not being afraid of the opportunity. Obviously Tyson gets the pick, but we had other guys in there who were making plays. I know Sabor. I think that the drive he ended up getting put in, he made the first 3 plays, and they were off the field. So, a lot of guys stepped up when they were able to get an opportunity, and that's encouraging to see. But across the board, we got to go back to work this week.
On the touchdown run, we made it 28-3. It seemed like Matt Bailey, that would have been the gap that he fit. He's on the sideline because his helmet popped off. But more or less a coincidence, or did you find like number 7 would have made that one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I have tremendous respect and trust in Matt Bailey. So obviously I like him in that scenario. I would like whoever we have in the game in that scenario. But we got to find a way to put ourselves in advantageous positions and execute.